Welcome. Welcome to the Michael ALPOUGH Life, Love, and Laughter Show, episode number 31. Hope you're having a nice day. For those who will be watching later, I welcome you too. We had a good talk this morning about things that distract us and that we have to be aware of that. Okay, we have to be aware of the distractions and how they confuse us, or whether or not they decide which way they want us to go. If you're on the red pill, you're in the red pill, you're in the blue pill. If you tuned in yesterday, I had Morpheus from the Matrix, and he offered that suggestion, and I asked him, well, what do you think about just eating both of them? And he said, fine, that's good, because guess what? That makes you an adult of your mind and an automatic bipartisan. See, you're bipartisan in your mind. How great is that? When you understand that both these sides, it allows you freedom. I'm not kidding you. Freed me to understand both sides. And where does it always go? It begins with your television. Tell the vision that they want. Okay. So tonight I decided I was going to do something a little different, but it also, in thinking about it, it just brought up what the time is. UFO. Why now? Why now? Why now is the media telling us now that they're allowing photos. Okay. Up until just here recently, nobody's talking about UFOs unless you're in the movie theater. But now, all of a sudden, they're releasing these pictures. This is an identifiable, unavailable object. It's an undeniable flying objection. No, it is confirmed. It's confirmed. Okay. All these years, it's been plausible deniability. Okay. Don't believe your lying eyes. Okay. So why now? Man, they got us looking up, down, around, like they're making us spin. Keep your eye on the spinning ball. Right? Isn't that how you hypnotize you? So I'm going to break down a couple of these things according to my opinion. And I'm also going to tell you my official UFO sighting. Mine is pretty incredible. So, why now? Well, first of all, when President Trump became president, he said, we're We're going to start a space force. Right? A space force. We want to control the air. They want to control the air above. Let's have a space force that's flying up there to keep an eye on what? The unidentified flying objects, or is it about something else? Which brings me to the question. I was there when the moon landing. It was on TV. I saw it. It was on TV. All this big talk. We're going to have a station on the moon in 3 years, and then we're going to jump off to Mars. And that's 1969. It's been a long time. Why haven't we gone back to the moon? Why is it taken? Because it's confirmed about not being able to get out of this orbit. Okay. Now, I've seen one of the heads of NASA say, we wish we could go to the moon. We'd go in a nanosecond. But we seem to have destroyed that technology, and it's just too expensive to replace. It's online. He said it. Okay. So they're still fighting to get out, out of orbit. It's not my words. Go check it yourself. It's not my words. Now, there are supposedly 40,000 satellites that are orbiting around the Earth. So I think there are. How come they don't fall down? Well, we know what that does, what that means. Okay. Let's go back to 1947. Yes, young people, there was life in 1947. To Roswell, New Mexico. There were supposedly there was a spaceship that landed. All right. And it turned out, okay, so first of all, it was a whole big thing. People saw it, something crashed. And then it turned out that it was a weather balloon. Okay. That was the story. That's possible. That it just was a weather balloon. All right. And it made a big fire when it came in. And it was shortly after that that there began the sightings of supposedly UFOs. All right. So now at this time, the Soviet buildup was beginning, and their military might and their actual, in the air, they were doing some pretty modern things compared to what, at the United States is doing at that time. Okay. Now, and so now this in Roswell, okay, there's a military base that's very close to Roswell. It's actually, it's a military base. And, so there was a lot of technology going on there. That's what's actually where the atom bombs came out of that military base near there, right, near Roswell, right there. So at this time, there was this big buildup, right, on seeing UFOs. This seemed to coincide with the Cold War that was going on with Russia. Now, let's review. So let's go back. Let's think about this. I'm an adult of my mind. I'm an adult of my thought. I am what I think about. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, who are we getting into conflict with right now? Like right now. Right now. What are we talking about already? right? The nukes already in the news, talking about the nukes, right? Right. Here comes the Space Force. That's what it kind of looks like. The Space Force. Now, I could go on and on about why we haven't gone back to the moon and what the possibilities of or not. Okay. Now, I had a good friend of mine. I won't say his name. Well, first, let me say this. In the last 40 years, or if you was a pilot and you saw a UFO, you are not calling it in. It could cost you your career. And now they want you to tell them. If you're a pilot, would you still do that? Would you still do that? Would your co-pilot? You see, there's a code up there, though that's for sure. There is definitely a code up there. You know, I just saw something that was really strange. It's actually right next to us. You didn't see it. It's not going to do anything to you. You didn't see it. It's right next to you, Captain. And if you want to have your retirement, you didn't see it either. They put the next guy in line, and now you can state that you see them. Now, I know this really because I had a friend of mine who was a pilot for a major airline for 30 years, and he was in the military and flown pilot. He was a pilot. And he verified that this was absolutely true. And some of the things that he told us that and he never was reported. Okay. You just don't report it. And now it's okay to. So I find that to be really strange. But again, we're in strange times. And speaking of strange, I'm going to tell you one of the strangest stories you will ever hear that happened to me. Now, see, I was very on and off with it myself all my life, by the way, pretty much. Believe not. Glad I went to the moon. Wasn't pretty much thinking about stuff back then. This is 1986. I was up in Lake Arrowhead. If you're not familiar with Lake Arrowhead, it's a huge lake that are like circled with mountains, high mountains. Okay. And it's very cliffy. Okay. So the houses are on these high stilts. So you're over the edge of the lake and these high trees. You have these extremely high trees. It's quite beautiful, but in the middle there is the lake, and the lake goes about maybe 3 miles across. So it's a pretty big lake. Okay, Lake Arrowhead in California near Big Bear. I just to let you know, I was at a Christian retreat. And that's all I'll say. I want to keep everybody in confidence. I don't want to tell people, bring anybody into my story. So it was late. I had gotten there late. And it was I went in and said hello to everybody. And me and this other lady, who I'll remain nameless, who I gave a ride to the retreat, we went back up to get the rest of our things out of my truck. So we walk up to the truck, and it's kind of away from the house, and it's in one of those little cul-de-sac, small parking cul-de-sacs that you can park on. So we were parked there, and we were a little bit away from the house because we were one of the last people to get there. So we're at the truck, and my friend, the person who was there, I see her looking up. She's looking up. And I'm this way, and I turn around and I look up. And now remember, these are high trees. And the trees are near the land here. And then further out, as you go down that hill, those long steps all the way down to the water, that's where the clearing is. So I see what appears to be something red, and it looked like a ball, and it was floating. In other words, we didn't hear anything. And at the time, I had very long curly hair, and it turned into an afro immediately. Okay. I heard no noise, and I already had the hair on my arms and legs all standing at attention. I saw this, what appeared to be a red ball, when it came into the clearing, which meant into the clearing, it was literally about, I would say, about 150 feet from me. Okay. When it came out into the clearing, it was a red ball, and it had a gold band around it, and it was spinning. It was spinning, and it did not make a sound. The best I could even think I heard was a or it was going through the air. Okay. This thing was red. It was a bright red with this gold band. And we literally, I remember my friend saying, "Oh, she's trying to wave to, hey, and I'm like going, we're going to get abducted. Shut up." I thought it was going to turn around. It was so funny. So anyway, there it is. We are looking at it. We are identifying. It is not a balloon. It is not a plane. If it was a balloon, it would be totally different. It was not like the Goodyear blimp. It was round, completely round, and you could see this gold lap going around it, and it was hovering and moving across the lake. So it's moving across the lake. We have our eyes on her. I do. I would not take my eyes off of this thing. I didn't know I was going to get in my truck and go try and drive around the other side of the lake. I didn't know what. All I know is this red object with a gold band that looked maybe the size. It's hard to tell the size. It was big, yet it wasn't that big. Okay. You could say it might have been the width like of a helium balloon, like a balloon that you ride. You could say it that, but because it was so compact, it was like a round ball. So if you could it was about the size, let's just say, of a balloon, but it was definitely in. I could see the surface of the actual craft. Okay, so here it is now. It's hovering all the way over. It's going out. It's not going slow. I mean, it's going slow. It's not like it's in a hurry. Okay, so it starts to flow. I saw it the whole time. I mean, I saw it the whole time as it went across the lake at about, maybe 100 feet above the water. Okay, so it's like 100 feet above the water, and it just keeps gliding. I would not take my eye off this thing for a second. Then it gets to about the middle of the lake, and it stopped, and then it shot straight up in the air. It went from like this cruise thing to this massive speed, and it was gone up in the air by the time I could count to 3. It was gone, out of sight. To say I wasn't tripping was beyond tripping. We were in shock. Now, this is the times before there were cameras. This is 1986. You do not have a cell phone. You're not carrying a camera. Okay? It's in the middle of the night. This thing lit up the forest when it came across. Okay? So, and remember where I'm at. I'm at a Christian retreat. And by the way, I was the worship leader and I was teaching that weekend. Yeah. Yeah. So this guy who's like, okay, let me go to my friends, man. So we go in there and we literally wake the whole house up. We tell everybody in one story. One. And it was like I had committed the mortal sin. It was just it just told me. And I said to her, listen, you should just forget about this. Okay. I told her, forget about this. Not me. In fact, it was the beginning of the change for me. Was that. I'm not saying that was the event, but just some other things, which put me on another path to where I'm at today. And today, I'm still tripping. Why now? You see, whether you're in the blue pill or the red pill, we're caught in the middle, no matter what. And we're only here left to react, to talk about it. And so what do I do? What do I think it is? What do I think it is? I really, at what is it? I don't know, 40, no, maybe 40, 35, 30 something years later, something like that. I could say today in my thought that, looks like it could have been either or, because I do not know if it's real or not. I'm saying this was real. No doubt about this. Whether or not it came from out or it was from here, I can't prove. I mean, the simplest thing that it was late at night and they were testing something. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, but I know what I saw. And the closest I know of anybody I know that's ever been this close to an actual unidentified flying object. There was absolutely nothing. And by the way, I did not report it. Okay, and I saw it the next night. from a far away distance, but I saw it. And I'm standing right next to one of my people who didn't want to see it. And I'm not even telling him it's there. And I thought, man, Mike, they're playing a joke on you, man. You know, so anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close up here. I will be back tomorrow, probably about 2:15. I'm looking forward to telling you more things, funny things. The only thing we can do is try and figure out a way to laugh about it. So when your mind is troubled, fill it with love, fill it with love. See you tomorrow for number 32.